Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Christmas edition of the Quotable Podcast. And we wanted to bring you one last Christmas episode before the holiday. So this is our gift to you, one of my favorite Christmas movies from my childhood, The Santa Claus. Really? You're not going to say anything?
I mean, no, it was a pretty solid intro.
I'm just messing with you.
I was sitting here just thinking to myself, like, man, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loudly for all to hear.
Yep.
Wrong That's movie. Not even this movie.
Wrong movie again.
No,
again.
I know.
This is all we do, and you can't even get that right.
I know. God, thank God no one's paying us for this. This is hogwash.
Yeah. I know you're not as familiar with this movie as I am. This has been my tradition, like one of the go-to movies that I watch on an annual basis.
Yeah, and I think it's quite possibly because of the age gap between you and I.
So that's such a huge age gap.
There's like 18 months. Yeah. A lot happens.
I think it's 14 months. 14. So yeah.
Nah, never.
Yeah. Pretty sure. Made a huge difference, though. So, even though you're not as familiar with the movie, is there any scene or scenes that stand out to you?
I mean, there are a few different scenes. Not really. I'm more. I like the facial expressions a lot in this movie, especially when, Tim Allen gets back or Scott Calvin gets back to the North Pole after having to become Santa Claus, and Bernard or Barnaby, Barabbas, B.A. Baracus. I can't remember his name.
All of it.
But he's telling him, he's like, oh no, when you put on the suit, you took on the Santa Claus. He's like, oh yeah, you talking about the guy on my roof? And he's like, no, the Santa Claus. And he was like, yeah, what? He's like, you're a businessman, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, a clause, like the last line of a contract. So as he's reading around the card,
and he's got his face behind that big magnifying glass.
Yeah, all the little faces that he's making. I love that scene. But then also at the end, or not the end, but the middle, when he's at the business meeting. And I laugh so hard every single time I see it, is when they're talking about the brand new toy that's coming out for Santa Claus, but you see Tim Allen with that idiotic smile on his face, like his mouth is wide open, somehow showing all of his teeth with the smile.
He does that multiple times throughout the movie, and it cracks me up every time.
Yeah.
Because it's not a normal face that people make when they're laughing. And when he makes that face, he's kind of doing like a silent laugh.
Yeah.
So it's like he's got his full mouth open with a smile, and he's kind of nodding his head like he's laughing, but there's no sound coming out of his mouth at all. But it's freaking hysterical. What I like about this movie, this may have been a deliberate choice. I like how much Scott Calvin, he's kind of a jerk in the beginning of the movie. And as he begins to accept the fact that he may actually be Santa Claus, his demeanor starts changing. He becomes friendlier. He becomes more, passionate and not so much of a jerk. I mean, except with Neil. That's always going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But
I don't think that they could have done a better casting job with Neil than Judge Reinhold.
Judge Reinhold did a great job.
He owned that part. I mean, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, I think, maybe last episode, maybe an episode before that, is when you see an actor that does such a good job, like, Judge Reinhold. When he wasn't doing the Santa Claus, I'm pretty sure he was a psychiatrist.
He could have actually been. Yeah.
That's how good his acting.
He's not a doctor. He's a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
But I do like the intro to the movie. It shows Scott and one of his business partners at a Susan Perry, I think was her name in the movie. They're being recognized for having like the top sales for their company due to this one toy that they created, the do-it-yourself dolly.
Yeah.
And so they're having a big Christmas party and everything, and the lady gets the microphone. Susan gets the microphone first, and she's like, we want to thank you all for all your support or whatever. We want to thank each and every one of you one at a time. And then Scott grabs the mic from him.
But we don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that, do we? He's like, this has been a great year, and everybody, we want to thank you all. And then he says, but I just wanted to say that Christmas isn't just a time for, sales or toys or whatever. It's also about families. He's like, unfortunately, our families can't be here right now, which is probably why Johnson's secretary is sitting in his lap right now.
Yeah.
That scene always made me laugh. And then he's calling, I guess, Laura, his ex-wife, to let her know that he's on his way home. There's no cars on the road. There are no cars at all on the road. No. And he's lying to say that there's traffic. Why does he have to lie in that situation? I've never understood that.
Yeah, the only thing that you really have to do is just, I guess, because I think that this came out at a time where it's like cell phones really weren't prevalent. So it's not like he was calling their house to make it seem like, okay, I was trying to catch you before you left, to let you know I'm running behind. So it's not like he called and left her a message on her voicemail, but it's more an answering machine at home. Because I think this was a kind of a time where it's like if you had a cell phone,
you were doing well.
Yeah, you had money.
Yeah. But, there's the problem. 3-car pileup.
Yeah.
And she's
That's not very ladylike.
Same to you, lady. But even the interactions with Charlie at the beginning of the movie, he just seems like a jerk of a dad. Like,
yeah. It really says something if you have a child who's Charlie's age, which I imagine in this he's probably 8, 9,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and if your 8 or 9-year-old kid doesn't want to spend time with you, you're doing something wrong.
You're failing.
Yeah, because I have 2 kids. One of them 17, the other one's 10, and yeah, I have an ex-wife as well, and this is just one of those things where it's like, it makes me feel good when my kids are like, yeah, no, I want to hang out with my dad for a little while. Because, you don't really get that all that often. Now, the older one, I don't even think he knows he has a dad.
Probably not.
Yeah, until it's like, hey,
until he needs something.
Yeah, like last night we all got together as friends and family and everything. We went to a lovely little shindig in this area, a little farm, and watched Elf.
We've talked about this in previous episodes, how we do this kind of, it's become our new annual thing.
Yeah, and this farm has a wooded area, and they set up a projector screen, TV, and everything. And last night the weather was not on our side, so they had to kind of relocate us not too far away, but it was still a good time.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad they moved it indoors yesterday.
It
was still cold though.
Yeah, it was different, but at the same time, it's like paying a few bucks extra just to get like a fire pit or something like that. That's what makes that kind of stuff fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Then I sit there and think to myself, like I said, my older son's 17. How many more years is he going to want to do something like this? So at least with my younger one, I could probably get another 5 or 6 years of going to do this.
Yeah, you're not exactly having to twist his arm.
Right.
So, yeah, I know he looks forward to that one. But Scott gets to the house, and just immediately they wanted to establish the relationship between him, his ex-wife, and Neil, who he can't stand.
Yeah.
So Neil's in a hurry because they're trying to go to his parents' house to have Christmas dinner, and it's Christmas Eve, and he's asking Laura just to be nice, like, you're not going to come inside or anything. He's like, well, no, we kind of got to leave. And like Neil's waiting in the car. He's like, well, he can come in too, right? And he's like, I think Charlie even mentioned it. He's like, no, he says he don't want to come inside because you're probably going to say something snotty. And then Scott's like, no, it could be rude or sarcastic, whatever it takes. And this is just one of many comments that he makes, at the expense of Neil.
Yeah. And they do make, at first, you do see it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, because when I first watched this movie all those many years ago, you could kind of see like, okay, Scott's kind of an ass throughout this entire thing. But then at the same time, you want to be on Scott's side because Neil kind of comes off as an ass as well. So there are certain things, and I mean, I've learned them more growing up now and everything, and in adulthood, Neil's kind of a bad guy too. Like the whole scene where you have an 8 or 9 year old and Charlie that's like, well, I believe that my dad is Santa Claus. Like Charlie saw it with his own eyes, and then Neil's all of a sudden like, we got to put a stop to this. Yeah. Like we have to. And, I mean, in all honesty, you want to look at it and go, Neil, that's none of your business. It's not your child. You let me raise my child the way I see fit and everything. And you can kind of see Laura who's like, oh yeah, we have to do what Neil says. And then, things start happening to Scott as the year progresses. It's like, okay, you're putting on more weight. Your hair's turned completely white.
You're growing the beard out.
You've grown a beard out and everything, which he's tried numerous things. I mean, he could even sit there and say like, he could tell Laura and Neil, like, I've gone to the doctor. I mean, I've gotten checked out. I'm as healthy as a horse.
Like, I don't know what's going on with me. This is not a choice. How I'm looking. I'm not doing this on purpose. They probably wouldn't believe him anyway. But no, like what you were saying is basically Neil is heavily influencing Laura's decision as far as custody goes. Right. And there is that scene where it's like, well, we need to address whether or not Charlie spending time with you is a good idea. Yeah,
anymore. And that's none of Neil's business. So at one point, you're just kind of sitting there like, sorry, Neil, but you're going to have to butt out of this one.
Yeah. So Charlie has to spend Christmas Eve at his dad's house, and he clearly doesn't want to do it.
No.
Because as his mom's about to leave, it's like, really? Do I have to stay here? And it's like, Scott's hearing this conversation from the other room. It's like, that's gotta suck as a dad. I'm not a dad, so I don't know.
The feeling's terrible.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because there are times where it's like, I'm getting ready to leave work, and my ex-wife, she lives where I work and everything, and I call her, or I go up to the apartment. It's like, hey, let's, is the little man ready to go? And then he's just sitting there like, I don't want to go with you tonight. And it's like, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's just, I know the feeling.
So yeah, and even then, like, she's getting ready to leave. She's like, so you're going to be here first thing in the morning? Charlie's like, you're going to be here first thing in the morning, right? She's like, yeah. We're talking sun up. You're here. Yeah. And it's like, this is how much he doesn't want to be at his dad's house.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell, like, this whole evening is a disaster from a parental standpoint. Yeah. So he burns the turkey.
I mean, honestly, who's going to cook a turkey that late at night?
He's like, 4 hours.
Yeah,
so it's already dark out, but then again, this is the holiday season, and it gets dark at 5 o'clock. So, but it's still
4 hours. Be ready. It's going to be 9:30 before dinner's done.
Nobody should eat that late at night.
No,
Those flames are really big, Dad. Dad,
I think I got it under control now.
He's like, and this is why you want a high quality fire extinguisher right here in the kitchen. But then they have to go find somewhere to go get dinner. Yeah, and they're driving around, and he's like, do you like ossobuco? Oh, they're closed. But this is another conversation that he has with Charlie, where you find out, first of all, how much he hates Neil.
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly what was said that Neil was brought up, but Charlie says something about Neil, and he's like, yeah, and you should see him walk on water. And then Charlie's like, well, you don't like him very much, do you, Dad? He's like, no, I like, yeah, no, Neil's great, whatever. There's just something about him that makes me wanna. And Charlie says, lash out irrationally. And Scott's like, where did you hear that? He's like, from Neil. I learned a lot from Neil.
Yeah.
But then there's some other comments that he makes about him. He's like, yeah, you should talk to Neil or whatever. I learn a lot from Neil, and then he says something like, and then he charges you for it,
Yeah.
or whatever. But even the scene at school, because they have the bring your father to work day.
Right.
And I like how they cut to this scene because there's a firefighter.
Yeah.
And he's about wrapping up his little speech that he came up with. And he says, so remember, kids, there is nothing more painful than third-degree burns. And then the teacher's like, all right, well, let me be the first
that was
to say,
horrifying.
well, let me be the first to say, I'm sorry about your partner. Like, what the hell? And the so she's gonna bring up Charlie. Do you want to bring up your Neil?
Yeah.
And she's like, actually, I'd like to have my dad come up. And then my dad's got the greatest job of all, whatever.
Yeah.
My dad is Santa Claus. Everybody starts laughing.
Yeah, and he's
obviously.
like, well, my job's kind of like Santa Claus. Like, I work for a company that makes toys.
He's like, we're both
You know.
jolly.
Yeah.
We both make toys, and we both work really hard. One day a year. Oh, man. But yeah, this whole thing that leads up to where he becomes Santa Claus, he's being a jackass to Charlie. He reads him the night before Christmas, and then he skims through it because he's like, all right, screw this, whatever. And
Because as soon as you get done, we can go to sleep.
yeah, and Ma and her kerchief, and I and my cap, and
Rose such a
son of
clatter.
reindeer, and to all a good night. What is that, Dad? What? A rose such a gladder? He says a rose such a gladder, and then Scott's like, it's not a ladder. I'm like, Charlie didn't even say ladder. He said gladder. And I don't know if that was just he didn't enunciate well enough. He's like, it just means there came a big noise. Huh? It's like, oh my God. I hate repeating myself. A rose is a word that means there came, and clatter is a big noise. Now go to sleep.
Yeah.
This is like his best. If
we've all been frustrated there as parents.
One line that he repeats throughout this movie is "Go to sleep."
Yeah.
Even when he visits his first house as Santa Claus, that little girl Sarah, I think was her name.
I think so. Yeah.
He's like, "How come your clothes are so baggy?" He's like, "'Cause Santa's watching his saturated fats. Now go to sleep."
You want this little doll? Do you?
Where's your beard?
And he's like, then go to sleep.
How come you don't have a beard? 'Cause Santa shaved.
But it's just so funny because he has like that little Raggedy Ann doll
Yeah.
or whatever, and then he just turns around and throws it at the
at
tree.
Yeah. Do you want this doll or not?
Then shut your eyes and go to sleep.
You're supposed to drink the milk.
Well, Santa's lactose intolerant. Go to bed.
Supposed to drink the milk. But I like how he eats that piece of celery.
Yeah.
And as he's about to go up the chimney, he's holding it in his mouth, and it looks like he's holding it like a cigar almost.
Yeah.
It's like, go. But the following year, just after the year's time, his whole demeanor changes. I don't remember. I think he had a beard. It may not be as long as what he eventually got to.
Right. I do like when he's walking down the street, though, and he was like, Timothy, nice. It's like,
Billy,
Allison,
naughty.
nice. He's like,
Or Johnny, naughty.
He's like, Johnny, naughty. But then that girl walks by and he's like, Allison, really nice.
Veronica.
Oh, was it Veronica?
Very, very nice.
Very nice.
And she's like, in your dreams, sleigh boy. But this is a time where people or women actually wore the leggings, the tights, whatever, nylons.
Oh, they're still out there.
I guess they do exist.
Yeah.
They do exist.
I mean, but as the year progresses, like as you were saying, his demeanor does change. He does start getting more festive and holiday and everything, and then
He starts dressing. Like once his body starts changing, because it kind of cuts after everything happens on Christmas Eve. It cuts to like I think around Thanksgiving time.
yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
And that's when his body, he like wakes up in the morning and he's gained all this weight. And this part kind of bothers me because he steps on the scale and he gets to like 192 pounds. and then it starts climbing a little bit, and he's like, there's something wrong with the scale. I'm like, I weigh like a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And I'm not freaking out when I step on the scale. Well, I don't like it, but he looked like he would have weighed a lot more than that. And he's freaking out about 192. I'm like, I'd be happy at 192.
God, I'd kill for 192 again.
Something wrong with the mirror.
After the holidays. I get it. There's something wrong with the mirror.
The scene at the doctor's office is funny, though.
Yeah.
Because the doctor's like, I don't know what to tell you.
He's like, so you put on a few pounds. And he's like, does this look like a few pounds to you, Doc?
He's like, well, weight can fluctuate from time to time. He's like, fluctuate? You make it sound like I'm retaining water. He's like, well, what about the mood swings? He's like, the mood swings? He's like, yeah. Like, my hair's turning gray. He's like, well, at your age, or with that body, you should be happy that you have hair.
Yeah.
If you're that concerned about it, you should diet. And you should diet. Just kidding.
It's a fat joke.
Yep. See what I did there?
But that, and it's like, he tries to dye his hair.
He tries to shave.
And it just immediately all comes back. And, that whole scene when that happens, he was like, I'm in big trouble. But even before that, when we were talking about the scene where he shows up at work and you just see him running down the hall. He's wearing a trench coat, but he's wearing sweatpants, wearing a sweatshirt, tennis shoes, and comes running in there like, Scott, what happened? What's going on with you? And he was like, oh, yeah, no, the dry cleaner in my neighborhood just caught fire.
It caught fire. There was an electrical disaster. Yeah. They caught fire, and all my clothes, poof. Gone.
He's like, yeah, so that's why I'm wearing. And he's like, no, not that. He was like, your weight. And he was like, oh, yeah, bee sting. Oof.
Evidently, I'm allergic.
Yeah.
But the guy in the emergency room says the swelling will go down.
Yeah.
And I hate how he says that. The guy in the emergency room, not doctor.
Right.
Not nurse or anything. It's just the guy, some random guy at the emergency room. He said the
Pretty sure he was a janitor.
Down.
I'm not sure. I never saw him mop anything, but he had a mop.
He was carrying a mop. He wasn't using it.
Don't worry, son. The swelling will go down.
Thank you.
Thank you, random guy.
Wise janitor.
Big thumbs up.
A big B. But when they're ordering lunch.
But there was something in the background. I think when he was like, and I think I pointed it out to you the last time we watched that scene because we did that scene.
You heard somebody say killer bee.
Yeah. He was just like, oh yeah, apparently I'm allergic. And he's like, killer bees.
Yeah. If you don't notice it, if you're not listening for it. Yeah. But if you go back to that scene.
And trust us, people, we're trained professionals. Yeah. We have eyes that work.
I don't think it was picked up on the closed captions.
I don't think it was either.
But you have to listen for it. Turn the volume up.
So it makes me wonder if it's the director.
It could be.
Just behind the camera like, killer bees.
But if it was killer bees, he would be dead.
So I like that scene, but then when they're ordering lunch and he was like, Caesar salad, dressing on the side. And then he was like, oh, how's your hot fudge sundaes?
Yep.
Well, and some of those really nice warm cookies.
I like how he's wanting to order, but they keep skipping him.
Yeah.
So I think his boss orders first. He's like whatever salad. He's like, light on the oil. Can they do that?
Yeah.
And then somebody else orders, and he's just like, wants to order so bad.
It's so funny because I think the only person that could ever pull off that line when he was like, yeah, can I get this salad light on the oil? Can they do that? Like the only person that can deliver it and make it funny was Peter Boyle.
Yeah.
May he rest.
Yeah.
So good. Such a great line.
Yeah, because Scott actually, he's like, I want a Caesar, no dressing.
Yeah.
Like one of those warm chocolate chip cookies, no nuts.
Yeah.
Some creme brulee, hot fudge sundae, extra hot fudge. On the side.
Yeah.
Because he's like gauging the room. Like everybody's judging him at this point.
Bee sting, huh, Scott?
A big bee. Why they had to wait for him to finish eating before they started their presentation is beyond me.
The only thing I can think of is just how annoyingly loud he was, like with the spoon at the bottom of the glass. Because, I mean, he was determined to get every last drop out.
But he has a whole nother side of hot fudge that's sitting there. He doesn't touch.
That's for later.
Yep. Ipso facto, I'm fat.
But then he loses it on his coworker because of the whole, like, oh, you know, Santa, like how he's trying to describe Santa. And then that's when he's doing that weird smile, like, yeah, we're really getting into it. And he was like,
it's just a little thing. The elves.
Yeah.
They look so funny.
Yeah.
They're supposed to look funny.
They're elves.
I like how serious he said that, too.
Yeah. It is funny. I mean, because you just kind of sit there and think to yourself, it's like, yeah, they're supposed to look funny. They're elves. Are we actually discussing this? Like,
is this a thing?
Like, Scott's the only one that has a problem here. Like, I mean, come on. But then he was like, oh, you know, you envision Santa's sleigh and everything. He's like, but not this year. This year, he's going to be rolling out.
Santa's going total tank.
Yep.
He's like, no.
Whoa.
Santa's not going anywhere without his sleigh. He would if he's trying to sell the total tank.
Well, and then he goes on. Isn't that a pretty picture?
Yeah. Santa rolling down the block in a Panzer. Well,
I hope you've been really good this year, kids, because Santa just took out the Pearson home.
Incoming! And another thing.
He's like, well, hang on there, Scott. But I like it when Scott gets up and like leaves the office, and then, you know, his boss comes out and he was like, what's going on with you? And he's like, I don't really know.
But I like how before they walk outside, he picks up a plate of cookies and grabs one and he offers one to his boss. And he's like, no. He's like, what's going on with you? He's like, you know, your weight, you're out of control. He's like, I know. He's like, well, just get some help. See a dietitian or a psychiatrist or whatever. Just get some help.
Yeah. But then, I mean, I think that's where you kind of see the turn in his psyche. Like, you could see it beginning in the meeting, but then after that, he's just kind of like, all right, you know. And then when FedEx shows up, and he was like, hey, you know, I got a package for you. You got to sign for it. So he signs for it, and he was like...
He's like, are USC? Yeah, Scott Calvin.
Scott Calvin, that's me. And he was like, all right, got some packages for you. And he's like...
Quite a few.
And he's like, okay, I'll just leave the door open for you, fellas. I was like, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and then he comes outside because he was in the middle of shaving at the time. He comes downstairs. His entire bottom floor is filled with these red boxes.
Yeah.
And he's like... And then he goes to chase the FedEx. Oh, excuse me. It was Federal Express.
Aha.
They hadn't changed to FedEx yet.
Aha.
So I like pointing out stuff like that. Things that will age a movie.
Yes.
All these vans, it had Federal Express spelled out.
Man, God, I forgot about that.
Yeah. But then he picks up the list. He opens up the first box.
Yeah, the very first box. It just happens.
Armand Asante. But he's like chasing down the driver. He's like, hey, what is all this? Like, because he hasn't accepted any of this stuff.
He doesn't want to. I mean, come on. That's a lot of work.
But we talked about this morning, is like Bernard in this movie, like, I think was the best version of Bernard. Like,
I could see it, yeah.
He's considered the head elf. He takes his job very seriously. And one thing that you had mentioned is, like, this seems like it could have been a premeditated thing because none of the elves seem surprised by Scott's presence.
Right.
Like, it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, it was a theory that popped up yesterday, either on, like, the Instagram Reels or something, or maybe on Facebook. And I was like, okay, well, let's see if this theory actually pans out, because I've seen some theories where I'm like, okay, you're reaching, pal.
Yeah.
But this one actually kind of held some merit, because at the very beginning of the movie, you got the kids looking in the store window. One of them just happens to be an elf. When Charlie's in the classroom, and it's like, bring your dad to work day or something, and he was like, oh, my dad's Santa Claus, and all the kids laugh. There's one kid in there that's sitting up straight who's an elf, who's like, he doesn't find it funny because he knows Scott
That's
Calvin
true.
is Santa Claus.
And I've never even noticed that, honestly.
Yeah, and then there's the scene where like Santa actually falls off the roof right when he comes out, and Scott's like, "Hey, what are you doing up there?" Santa's crouched by the chimney and stands up to start to walk, and then that's when he slips and falls. When he gets back to the North Pole, like you were just saying, what I told you, none of the elves are surprised that it's Scott Calvin and not Santa Claus, because everyone already knows, like, oh no, there's going to be a new Santa Claus tonight, and it's going to be Scott Calvin.
Even the way that the elves interact with him, it's like,
so none of them are surprised.
They act like they've known him for years.
Yeah.
So, for instance, that the one elf, Scott calls him kid. He's like, "Hey, kid, who's in charge here?" He's like, I'm not a kid.
Yeah.
He's like, "I've got pointy shoes that are older than you.
Yeah.
I'm an elf." And I love how committed he was to that line. He did it so perfectly, like a grown-up would do.
Yeah, and he was like, "No, who's in charge here?" And he's like, "You are."
That was the girl, the female elf.
But then he was like, "No, where's the head elf?"
You are. She's like, "Are you on a break or something?" He's like a coffee break? I don't drink coffee. So I guess the break is over.
And he's like, whoa, just settle
take
down.
It easy.
With it. Come on. So, but also, and this one here was kind of, you really have to think about it. Now that, there are 3 Santa Claus movies, you find out in the second one that Santa Claus has to be married. There's no Mrs. Claus when he arrives back at the North Pole. So as soon as Santa Claus disappeared to go live his life in luxury, probably down in Florida, Mrs. Claus left too. So when he got there was no Mrs. Claus.
Another thing that stands out, and I'd like to circle back to this, Santa falls off the roof.
Right.
Scott and Charlie are both outside, standing over the body. Neither of them, they're being extremely cavalier about a dead body being on their front lawn. They're not panicking. They're not freaking out like Charlie as a kid. Yeah. He would be like, "Oh my God, it's a dead body. You killed him."
What did you do, Dad? You killed Santa Claus.
It's like, all right, well, not my fault.
Yeah.
He's like, "Excuse me, I'm just checking for some ID or whatever."
Yeah.
But it's like, the fact that he was just being just really casual about the whole thing is just strange.
It is. But then I think there's a small little line that it took me a long time to realize, and it's right after that, like when they look back down and just the suit is there, and he's like, "Hey, he's gone." I really want to say, doesn't Scott say something? He's like, "He's running around naked."
Yes, he does. He does.
It took me forever to realize that he said anything at that point. But I mean, how are you going to miss a fat naked man running through your neighborhood?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's like 3:00 in the morning.
And then, but Charlie at the beginning of the movie, he like doesn't want to listen to his dad. So it's kind of like indicative of how much he doesn't respect him.
Right.
It comes across that way, at least, because that ladder appears out of nowhere.
Yeah. There arose such a clatter company.
And he's, huh? Yeah, see? Arose such a clatter. So Charlie climbs up the ladder onto the roof. First of all, no child should be up on the roof, period, because it's a 2-story house.
Yeah.
It's extremely dangerous.
See, but this, and as a parent, that drives me crazy, because everything that he's sitting there telling, he's like, "Charlie, get down from there.
Get down."
And then, get down from the roof. Your father said, get down from the roof. You get down from the roof. You don't just keep going up there like, "Dad, get up here. Look at this." Like, boy, I will punch you in the face.
Even when Scott goes outside to investigate, he said, "Charlie, stay here."
Yeah.
And Charlie gets his jacket and comes outside.
Yeah.
He doesn't listen to anything that Scott says. And you wonder why Scott's so irritated at him all the time.
Yeah. Oh, gee, I wonder.
Then he has to say something that makes him feel bad about it. How come everything I want to do is dumb? It's like,
God, I didn't say that, kid. Like, ugh. I mean, but as any brand new person that just got introduced to the Santa Claus life, it's like all of a sudden, if Christmas Eve, if I was outside of my house and Santa fell off the roof, I would probably sit there and be like, "Well, now what the hell do I do?"
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Well, I better get up on the roof and see if there are any reindeer in a sleigh," because I'm going to have to take over responsibility here at this point.
It's so funny because he gets up on the roof. First of all, if there's Santa's sleigh and a bunch of reindeer on your roof, something's going on here. This is not a natural situation. And then Scott has a line, there's no such thing as Santa's sleigh. And it's like, you're looking right at it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, sure there is. You said you believed in Santa Claus, right? He's like, I did. I do.
Oh, yeah.
But when Charlie's trying to get him to put on the Santa suit, that's when he says that line about like, why is everything I want to do stupid or whatever? Like, I didn't say that.
Yeah, never said that.
But then he's like, fine, I cave. I'll put on the stupid suit, this, that. And then he's like, oh, you forgot the sash. Oh, this completes the ensemble.
Yeah. How do I look?
Dashing. But he has a great line where he leaves that first house. The reindeer take off and they go right next door.
Yeah.
He's like, this is going to be a long night. Can you even imagine, like, if this was an actual thing? In your perception, you're visiting every single house one at a time.
Oh, yeah.
To everybody else, it's like it's happening in like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, could you imagine? And that's why when they end up finishing the last house and they're on their way to the North Pole, you hear him saying, when I wake up in the morning, I'm getting a CAT scan.
Yeah.
But when he's at the North Pole, he has a lot of interactions with like the different elves and everything, including Judy, and she's trying to rationalize with him like why he can't believe what he's seeing. He's like, he's at the North Pole. He's like, is that a polar bear directing traffic?
Yeah.
And she just nods, see, I see it, but I don't believe it. He's like, you're missing the point. It's like, what's the point? I'm like, and it feels like you're being schooled by a kindergarten.
Yeah.
But she's more than 1,200 years old, apparently, because that's how long it took her to get the hot cocoa recipe right.
Wow. You look really good for your age.
Thanks, but I'm seeing someone in wrapping.
I do like the way he says it because he's like, wow, you look pretty good for your age. And she was like, thanks, but I'm seeing someone in wrapping. He wasn't like, you look really good for your age. What are you doing later?
Yeah.
Like, no, he just said, wow, you look good for your age. Because you have this guy that just showed up at the North Pole who's like, look, I told my kid I believe in Santa, but I don't believe in Santa.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the North Pole. I don't believe in any of this stuff. So, I mean, at that point there, he's kind of more saying like, wow, so you're 1,200 years old, huh?
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I've fallen for this before.
1,200 years. You look pretty good for your age, as if I'm buying into this whole thing.
And it's thanks, but I'm seeing someone in wrapping.
Hey, Dad, he called me sport,
just like you.
Huh?
Like, what? Like, yeah, I mean, at that point, you're just like, oh my God, like, just shut up for 5 seconds, Charlie. I'm trying to figure something out.
Yeah, but Bernard, like I was saying earlier, like, I like how serious he is. In the other movie, like in the second Santa Claus movie, they made him too goofy.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the most important thing? You getting back here.
Yeah.
Like, why did you change Bernard's whole persona?
Because I pointed out the scene where he's like, when Scott Calvin gets back and he was like, all right, come on, Santa, you got to do this, you got to do this. And he's very like business.
Yes.
Like, come on, bam,
Try
bam, bam.
to understand me.
But we have to do all this. And he was like, all right. And then he explains everything to him. But then when he was like, all right, we'll ship the list to your house. And he was like, the list? What list? And he was like, you know, the list. And he was like, he's making a list. And then Charlie's like, checking it twice. And then all the elves chime in like, gonna find out who's naughty or nice. But then you just see the aggravation on Bernard's face like,
I hate my job.
I hate this song. I hate my job. I just want to be done.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Like, Bernard's fitting to go postal in the North Pole.
Like, I will kill every single elf in this building.
I like when they land at the North Pole, and then you see that solitary elf come out, and then the pole raises up from the ice, and she's like, what's that? He's like, I think that's the North Pole. And Scott's like, that's the North Pole.
Ought to be bigger than that.
Something. But the many interactions between Scott and the parents, they're trying to establish like what is going on with Scott. His physical appearance is changing. There's that soccer game where Charlie's playing soccer and Scott goes to watch the game. He's sitting on the park bench and this girl comes out of nowhere, stands up on the bench, taps him on the shoulder. He's trying to ignore her. He turns his back to her. And
I like
she's
how he turns his back, but then like
he
glances
looks
over his shoulder.
like, are you still there?
What is this now?
I'd like some ballet slippers.
Okay, fine, great, grand, get out of here.
But then
So I'm trying to watch my kid.
Neil and Laura pull up,
Yeah,
and immediately Laura's like, she sees a whole line of kids
yeah.
waiting to talk to Scott.
Which is not his fault.
This isn't what it looks like.
Yeah.
These kids lined up on their own.
Yeah.
But she reminds me so much of Sally Field,
Yes.
especially in this scene, because she's like this is absolutely insane. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe how you, not in my wildest dreams would I think that you would stoop to, well, maybe in my wildest dreams, but definitely not in my normal dreams would I think that you would change your physical appearance just to make Charlie like you.
Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, okay, there's no
There's
way
no way.
that one, I mean, when you're introduced to Tim Allen, like, his hair, it's all like brown. There's no way he's going to grow it that long and then all of a sudden it just be silver. Like he's all of a sudden just didn't become a silver fox.
No.
I mean, the beard, I could kind of see that because one, it wouldn't be silver. Like it would probably grow in brown, most likely. So, because I do know of people like me, I'm not one of them. If I went clean shaven today to get my beard back to the length it is now, and it's not that long, would be roughly 6 to 8 weeks, somewhere in there.
What I would have done.
I do know of guys that go clean shaven and by the end of the week have a full on like mountain man beard, and I'm like, what the
like,
hell?
I hate you.
Yeah, can't stand it.
What I would have done, excuse me, what I would have done if I was Scott is like, come to my house. I'm going to shave in front of you.
Yeah.
And watch what happens immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
That's problem solved.
Yeah.
That's it.
Guess what? 30 minutes of this movie could have been cut out.
Exactly.
And I really don't like the fact that, like Neil, like I said, butts in and is like, all right, well, we have to go see someone. So they go and see a judge. And the judge is like, well, we're going to leave it up to the kid and everything. And it's just like, so now they're bringing in this, like, Laura and Scott's kid to pit one against the other, and that's what Neil is trying to do, and it's like that's where I find it all aggravating.
Yeah.
But then Scott's upset by it, but then he goes, I can't remember how the kid got to the North Pole the second time. They're like, oh, he's kidnapped our kid.
Oh, because
or whatever.
Because he went to Laura and Neil's house because I think she was going to serve him like the divorce papers or something along those lines. I think he just stopped by to visit. And he's like, Scott's not supposed to be here. But I think this is the time where when he comes into the house, he's like, I come to see Charlie. He's like, and he blocks the doorway. And he's like, he says, don't make me beat you up, Neil, or something. He's like, oh, would Santa really beat somebody up? He's like, I'm this close. And this is the same scene where Bernard shows up and he's like eating the turkey. He's like, God, this is a dry bird. And Scott wants to say goodbye to Charlie.
Yeah.
So he asks if he can talk to him by himself. And so Neil and Laura go to the other room. And it's funny how this happens because Laura's contemplating whether or not that's a good idea.
Right.
Neil looks at her as if to like, are you seriously toying with the idea of like him getting to talk to Charlie? He's not even supposed to be there.
I do like his little huffing and puffing.
He throws like a little mini tantrum.
Yeah.
And he like storms out of the room. Like, fine. Which he does it so well.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is why we were saying he did a great job with this part.
Yeah,
because
Judge Reinhold is the best.
He's the annoying stepdad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that scene. But yeah, Bernard, I think he says like, "What? Why can't you go? It's okay with me."
Yeah.
And Scott's like, "Well, yeah, I guess he's right."
Yeah, even though you just got served papers like to stay away from this kid at all costs.
First thing you do is kidnap him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how that happened.
Okay.
And then Charlie calls his mom from the North Pole.
I gotta go, Mom. The elves need help loading the sleigh.
It's like, we're working on a new sleigh. We're like trying to get a vertical takeoff, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's funny because they cut to that scene where they're prepping for Christmas, and for some reason, with Charlie being there, all of these ideas happen. It's like, it's a brand new fabric, completely flame retardant. With as long as Santa has been doing this job, this is the first year that you've thought to come up with a fireproof suit?
Yeah.
This is the best stuff that we've seen in the workshop since the ball. Like, what? But what do I do if I fall off the roof? And nobody's listening to him.
No, nobody listens to it at all. That and then because I do remember that he goes back to deliver the presents at the house, and the cops are there, and they arrest him, and then they call the ELFs.
Yeah, effective liberating flight squad.
Yes.
It's time to deploy ELFS, says the only British elf that's there,
Yeah.
and he's got that braided ponytail for some reason.
I mean, those like that scene there is just kind of, it's aggravating. I mean, because you sit there and look at it and go, eventually Mom and Neil are going to find out that Scott is Santa Claus. I do like it when they do figure it out, and he's there and everything, and he's telling Charlie, and Charlie's like, "Okay, come on, Dad, we got to go." And he was like, "No, Charlie, you're going to stay here."
He's like, Christmas Eve, you spend with your mom and Neil?
Yeah. And he's just like, but then Charlie being a little B word is just sitting there like, but I want to go with Dad. It's like, shut up, kid. Shut up. I have a lot of work I got to do tonight, okay? So, come on. You stay here. I'll come back tomorrow morning.
Which is weird because not long after that, he changes his tune. He's like, I'm fine, Dad. It's them that you don't want to disappoint or whatever. Yeah. He's like, I can't be selfish. He's like, Charlie, you gave me a gift, a wonderful gift.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you're the least selfish person that I know.
But then I do like Neil because when Bernard shows up and he's eating like the falafel or
he's
whatever.
He's eating like a pita.
But then it's funny because when he's looking at Neil and he was like, hey, that's a really nice sweater.
Did we make this?
Did we make this? But then Neil's sitting there and he was like, Laura, he's sucking us into his delusions.
It's like, it's okay, Neil. I'll explain it to you later.
Yeah, but then Bernard disappears, and then he turns to look back at him. He's like, where'd he go? And runs back into the kitchen. But I do like it when she was like, you really are Santa Claus. And he was like, yeah, to think your parents thought I would amount to nothing.
Yeah. She immediately grabs the divorce papers and chucks them in the fire. And then Neil's like, Scott? He's like, yeah, Neil?
He's like,
Santa? It's okay, Neil.
Yeah. I do like it when he's leaving and he throws down like the dating game, board game for her.
The weenie whistle for him.
The soccer ball for
Charlie. Yeah.
And then the weenie whistle for Neil. It's like the Oscar Mayer weenie whistle.
Yeah. They're sitting outside of I think they're in the courthouse, and Neil and Laura are having a discussion about like when they stopped believing.
Yeah.
So Laura admits that she was about Charlie's age when she stopped believing. She's like, I wrote Santa every week that year that I wanted this mystery date game.
Yeah.
And I got everything, like all these wonderful gifts that year. I got everything except mystery date game. And that's when I stopped believing. And she's like, well, Neil chimes in. He's like, I was 3. And it was an Oscar Mayer weenie whistle. Christmas came, no weenie whistle. He's like, that's when I stopped believing. She's like, you were 3? And he's just like, nods. Yeah. And she's like, well, she feels so bad for him. Yeah, Scott shows up to the courthouse, and then Charlie comes out from talking to the judge, and he goes and gives his dad a big hug, and he's like, don't worry, Dad. I told him everything about the North Pole and everything. Yeah. And at this point, Scott still has not really
fully
committed.
Accepted.
Right. And this is when Charlie, I think I want to say this was at the courthouse, but I could be wrong. No, I think it was at the house where he throws the ball, the snow globe thing to his dad. And he actually looks into it and he sees the globe come to life.
Yeah. Because that's when he tells him, he's like, Dad, you have to remember.
Yeah.
And then that's like when he sees it and he's like, oh, wow, this did happen.
Yeah. So he goes through a lot of stuff, a lot of emotions. There's the I do like the scene where Scott comes to visit Charlie, and he sees Laura, and he's asking her like, "Well, where's Charlie?" It's like, "Well, yeah, he could be jumping up and down on the bed wearing a Santa hat and galoshes." He's like, "I don't care where Neil is. I want to know where Charlie is." He's like, "Oh, I see. I see what you did there." But Bernard has that one moment where Charlie wants to see his dad. He misses his dad. He's like, "What goodbye?"
Yeah.
He's like, "There's no goodbye." He's like, "Well, you still have the ball that I gave you, right?"
The snow globe, right?
He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "All you got to do, whenever you want to see your dad, is just shake it up. And he can come and see you day and night, no matter where he is."
It's like, no matter where he is. Yeah.
But he,
just said it.
Yeah. So he shakes the ball. This is after he's escaped from prison. He's gone back. He starts delivering all the gifts, and
he didn't escape. He was liberated.
He was liberated from
prison.
Tinsel, not just for decoration.
I like the drunk in the cell next to him. He was like, "You got any more of that tinsel?"
Yeah. Even this, where the elves and Charlie show up at the prison, and the guard or cop, whatever, at the counter, he's like, "Who are you? Like, what are you doing here?" Like, "We're here to free my dad." He's like, "Oh, you're the Calvin boy."
Hang on.
"Who are all these other kids?"
Yeah.
He's like, We're your worst nightmare."
Yeah.
"Elves with attitude." But then they tie him up and they shove the donut in his mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, well, at least they fed him. They were
Exactly.
They were
Yeah.
nice.
I do love it. Well, I mean, actually, I hate it in movies when people get gagged with something. Like they gag him with a donut. Like the guy's just going to take a bite, chew it up, and then he's going to be able to talk.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't stand that. And like in movies, you just see someone and they like put a sock in someone's mouth and they're like, just cork it. And it's like, you can't just spit it out and be like, "Ha ha ha, I fooled you."
Well, yeah, it's not like they taped his mouth over top of the sock or whatever,
Yeah.
or the donut in this case.
Dumb.
But he flies off, and he goes to deliver his gifts and everything. Charlie misses his dad immediately, and he shakes the ball. And he's like, "This stupid ball's not working."
Yeah. And then he's sitting there and he was like, "Charlie," he's like, "What is it?" He's like, "I've been gone 10 minutes. He's like, "I was halfway to Cleveland.
I was on my way to Cleveland. Give me a break." He's like, "All right, come give me a hug," whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like how they end the movie. I was like, "You mind? Do you want to go for a ride?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, of course."
And Charlie's been in the sleigh numerous times.
Like it's a big deal now.
Yeah.
But his mom okays it. She's like, "But not over any oceans."
Yeah.
Just a quick one. And he's like, Scott, Santa. But it's like, what is she freaking out about? What does she think is going to happen?
The thing, and it's not in the first one. I think it's in the third one, is when you get introduced to Lucy.
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
Which is Neil and Laura's kid.
I think she's in the second one. She's in the second one and the third one.
See, I couldn't remember if she was in the second one or not. But I just didn't like when they're like, "Well, we think you should take Lucy to the North Pole." Like, Charlie's been a bunch. But it's just like, well, Charlie is Scott's kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I think and when we go around to that movie, we can delve more into that. But I think that there, I was just like, sons of bees. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and honestly, like now I'm second guessing it. I
can't remember her being in the second one.
I think she is in the second one because these are really hard questions. Like, because I remember,
because I know in the second one is when he has to find a wife.
Scott starts losing his magic. He rides Comet to get back home and everything, and then overeats a bunch of candy, so he's all fat and laying in the snow. He can't fly back, so he has to use the tooth fairy to get back home.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember Lucy asking multiple times, like, is Uncle Scott Santa?
Okay, yeah.
But she's also in the third one because she's the one that melts Jack Frost's heart or whatever.
Yeah. Such a funny scene.
Yeah. But no, that's the Santa Claus. And out of the three of them, I like this one because I feel like they didn't go as cartoony with it.
Right.
I feel like they made Santa look more believable, whereas in the other two, they did something to his skin and made him almost look fake. That I wasn't a huge fan of. They should have just stuck with the original.
Well, in the second one, that one to me was really cartoony. And when you do something like that, I mean, that in my eyes is kind of what, to me, just ruins a franchise. And it's just like, I can't enjoy any of them. I mean, it's like, the Police Academy movies. I love Police Academy. I think all the movies just get epically bad after the first one. Like, the first one should have just been a one and done type of thing. I mean, Police Academy is such a great movie. It's so funny. But then it's like, I think now it's up to like 11.
Some series I can actually make it work, but like others, they just
But it's like Police Academy, like
we didn't have anything better to do.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like Police Academy 11, like Police in Moscow. And it's like, so the KGB is like in that hard of times that they have to get an American police squad.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I did enjoy facets of the second one. Yeah. But the first one will always be my favorite.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's not even just, movies like that. I mean, I think around Halloween, I was talking about Friday the 13th. I mean, it's just ridiculous how many that they did. Where it's like, I think it got to Jason X. It was like, Jason in space. You're like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
No. Just stop.
This is terrible.
Why don't you go ahead and sit out the next couple of rounds there, champ?
Oh, man. Are we that broke? We got to do something.
Or are you even more broker now? Because that movie didn't make anything, I'm sure.
I mean, it was, but I just leave it to executives to sit here and be like, all right, let's take it up a notch.
Yeah.
So when it came to the second Santa Claus, like the whole movie to me was cartoony. It's just everything that they had to do. I do like the plot line of it though, where it's like, well, you have Santa Claus, there has to be a Mrs. Claus.
I thought it was weird. And I don't want to go into too much detail because we're about to wrap this one up. We're way past time now. I like the romantic aspect of it. But when he's trying to convince the principal to go out with him, do you want to go get noodles or pie? I like that piece of it, but yeah. I like that storyline. But yes, there was a lot of cartoony things about it. But yeah, we'll get to that one eventually, maybe next year.
Possibly.
We'll see. But we wanted to do one last Christmas episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure we got through this one without any swearing, so I don't think I have to slap that explicit label on it.
I was actually really trying to watch myself this episode.
I think we actually did it. So
I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too.
It's time to go get some beer. Little congratulations to me.
All right, well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you have a safe and wonderful holiday, Christmas and New Year's and everything. And
yes.
Until next year, I guess I can say, as much as I hate being cliche, I hope you have a good one. And until next time, Quotable Podcast
out.
Papo Shisho.